Many artists are actually creating new solutions to certain problems. The only problem is that most artists don't know how to make money out of their craft as a content creator. Which brings me to the question, what are the types of jobs that AI cannot replace?
Paint your world and erase that bullet face. You gotta go, girl, can you chase that far away? Even in pandemic, you can make a lot of magic when you give your friends a call. Paint a picture on the wall.
Hey, Hans here. Now, if you're an artist, or if you're just a person who just loves to create original stuff, but currently don't have any idea on how to sell your creations, or artworks, or music, here's one cool thing for you. So in our previous video, we discussed about how musicians and artists could actually make money using NFT. With NFT, there are fees which might hinder you from uploading and selling because most of the fees actually cost quite a lot of money. Somewhere between $30 and $50 at the time of writing of this video, or about 1,500 to 2,000 in Philippine currency. And that might set you back from posting or uploading your creations for sale on the minting space. The only problem is that most artists don't know how to turn their creations in music and art into a business that could support them in their livelihood as a content creator. This wasn't exactly taught in school. Without incentive into doing a particular talent or skill, a person cannot get the proper tools to achieving the best and latest trends in terms of creating content in the modern world. Artists become demotivated in creating whatever their craft or whatever they're passionate about. When you do think about it, we do have to support and incentivize the creation of art. Big companies like Apple actually create tools like the iPad and the Apple Pencil, which are geared for artists. The problem is that these tools are pretty expensive, and most artists don't have enough money to fund for their craft or tools. Materials like paint and certain types of brushes, which would otherwise be a tool to enhance their creativity and inspire them to be motivated in making more art. They need to secure the right tools for their work. With the advent of AI, there will be more jobs that will be replaced by computers. And just recently, prior to the pandemic, this gave rise to a faster decline in job creation, mainly due to the fact that most companies actually invest in machines and automated robots who can do 24/7 work, which require little to no maintenance at all, forcing many companies to lay off their current employees, which in effect forces these skilled labor employees to find other jobs which sometimes don't even require a degree, such as flipping burgers. And even then, these flipping burger jobs are being taken over by AI. You will see how businesses could actually literally just buy a Chinese robot arm for under $50,000 and have an increase in burger production without having to worry about employee absences and other human-related factors. After all, their main goal is to be more productive while simultaneously cutting down on operating costs. Even the highest type of maintenance would only cost a tiny fraction of what used to be an employee's salary. That actually saves any business a lot of overhead costs when compared to paying salaries and other benefits that these employees could get, since it is actually mandated by law to provide statutory benefits to employees that operate under a certain government, not to mention the taxes that businesses would pay on behalf of an employee. Purchasing company tools, such as a robot arm, could even be filed as expenses, thereby granting the business a tax break or a tax return, which just adds up to the list of incentives that a business could get from replacing human jobs. The production of these automated robots has skyrocketed during the pandemic because despite the closure of establishments, the demand for supplies and products from these businesses did not diminish. In fact, the demand for tissue papers and other supplies increased by 300% since 2020. Some AI-driven business models have sprouted in an effort to replace the human jobs that were lost due to the coronavirus outbreak. Robots don't get sick at all. They can work 24/7 without rest days or vacations. Amazon has continued to increase the productivity in sales by expanding their warehouses and upgrading all facilities to be AI-driven. Demand for online shopping has also increased way beyond the production capacity of some factories. Which brings me to the question, what are the types of jobs that AI cannot replace? But before we arrive at an answer to that question, I'll give you a few examples of what AI has done recently and actual jobs that have been or currently replaced by AI. Number 1. Lawyers. In December 9 of 2020, 16 lawyers competed against an AI from Alibaba called Alice. The event took place in China where all things are made, except for Apple. iPhones are designed in California and assembled in China, which to me just sounds like a fancy way of telling people that iPhones are in fact made in China. The venue Zhejiang University Guangha Law School reported that the AI program passed the test, sending its results within a minute after the competition started, with an accuracy rate of 96%. Meanwhile, the 16 lawyers who went through the 5 contracts, totaling nearly 20,000 lines of text, finished in 30 minutes. The result? Just an 85% accuracy. This was from a team of 16 lawyers. This Chinese experiment was not the only one. This was actually inspired from a previous experiment in Los Angeles called the LawGeex AI. 20 of America's top lawyers, including law professors from Duke, UCLA, and a senior partner from an undisclosed law firm, competed with LawGeex AI. The LawGeex AI achieved an average of 94%, while the 20 lawyers' combined effort only got a mere 85%. It took the lawyers an average of 92 minutes to complete the NDA issue spotting, compared to a whopping 26 seconds for the LawGeex AI. In fact, Neil Sahota, a Forbes magazine contributor, wrote a book about this called Own the AI Revolution, where he interviewed Tom Gurari, a renowned civil litigator, who said, "It may even be considered legal malpractice not to use AI one day." Tom Gurari is a real-life inspiration for the movie Erin Brockovich. Meet Ross, the first AI attorney in the world that will be implemented by a law firm called Baker and Hostetler. Ross was created by IBM using their cognitive computer, Watson. Ever since its introduction to the world, they have attracted the attention of many law firms, such as the Dentons, the world's largest law firm with over 17,000 lawyers around the world. They have built their own AI engine using Ross under their own brand name, Nextlaw Labs. Take note that all of these AI are still at its infancy. They haven't even upgraded the AI yet. And yet, despite that, the partially incomplete AI has already won the competition against humans. Think about the possibilities when they actually update Alice, or Ross, or LawGeex for that matter. How fast and accurate could our legal system become? If a computer can accomplish the repetitive parts of many jobs, this means that we can unleash human talent to work more on complex and creative problems. And while that might mean that there will be lesser simple jobs, if that's not your aim, then the rise of AI will probably make a workday more fulfilling and fun. All you're focusing on is creativity. A person studying for law could take about 5 to 10 years, while Alice and LawGeex were only trained for only under 40 minutes. A training that is complete with all the collective knowledge of all cases in all the libraries in the world, including forensic databases, law books, and law material that is available online. We truly live in a world where more time could be spent with our own passions and interests while we leave the hard stuff to the AI. Let's look at a different industry. Number 2, food industry. If you don't have a job, or if you just want to have a part-time job or a job that's easy to do, probably the easiest option is to apply as a waitress or a waiter at a fancy restaurant. Or if you got a more classic taste, then probably landing a job in a 5-star cruise ship as a chef might be suited for you. Or maybe if you just want to flip burgers all day long. Well, not to burst your bubble, but we are no longer sci-fi. Soon, these jobs will be replaced as well. Miso Robotics has supplied tons of robotic products for restaurants since 2018. And among them is Flippy, a robot that flips burgers, sets temperatures, cleans, and powers on and off as needed. The cost of one unit is under $50,000, which is a very attractive and viable investment for businesses. On top of that, it cleans, maintains, which means that a business owner only needs to focus on providing the ingredients and stock materials as needed. Okay, there's no way they can do what chefs do in fancy restaurants. Well, I hate to break it to you, but in 2016, Moley Robotics introduced a robotic chef that could cook any recipe from scratch. All you need to do is supply the ingredients, click on your recipe, and voila! A freshly cooked meal from the top chef. The way it works is that it mirrors the exact hand movements that enables the maximum quality of the meal every single time. This was done in partnership with the top chefs that Moley Robotics worked with in Italy, France, and a few other Asian countries. The machine costs around $100,000, but the business feasibility of this is very much attractive, especially during the lockdowns. People can order via app, and restaurants no longer need face masks, as there'll be no more humans involved in creating these beautiful dishes made with what we call the copy-paste passion recipes. Samsung also created a similar design, which was featured last year in CES 2020, which they took a step further. The robot called Bot Chef was integrated in their Samsung Smart Fridge, where you can literally buy recipes online, send the recipe via smartphone, and have it cooked at the scheduled time. So when you arrive home, the food is ready. It is even served on the table. Imagine the same system in a restaurant. A restaurant called Freshippo is a first fully automated restaurant. In fact, it is so fully automated that the only humans inside are the customers. A menu is available by scanning a QR code on the table. Payment is made via phone app, online banking, and a robot prepares your meal in the kitchen. Depending on how you view these developments, it might be an inspiration to some, or it might not. But no matter how you want to view it, the point is, the fast-paced adaptation of the world is a path that we cannot control, avoid, or delay. Unless, of course, you want to time travel, which I'll discuss in an upcoming video. Spoiler alert, time travel is impractical if US and China would not release that alien technology. So for now, the only way to live is to be able to catch the trend. Because sometimes, to catch the bus, you need to run fast. Maintenance is minimal on these robots, but if it's comforting to think, a temporary robot programming service might open up opportunities for the IT professional who is gearing up for the widespread adoption of this new industry in as early as 2022. The only hindrance, of course, is the learning of a new programming interface that is completely different from the old programming languages. Teenagers who are looking to start up a new business could just simply set up one of these machines in their mom's backyard and they're good to go. Which brings me back to the question, what types of jobs are not easily replaceable by AI? The answer to that is human creativity. Creativity is a very simple yet complex process that we don't quite understand. There is no exact formula on how you measure creativity. It just kinda exists, and since we can't set a number on it to define its measurement, then for computers, there's nothing to compute. We ourselves don't even understand why some people are just more creative in certain types of music or lyrics or songs. Creativity comes as it goes, and it's something that we cannot measure or program. This was put to the test by Google using Google's DeepAI. They trained GPT-3 to analyze paintings in an attempt to see if they can mimic the painting style of Van Gogh or Da Vinci and apply it at a certain picture. It was able to do so, but only because there was a picture. GPT-3 cannot create from scratch. Only humans can do that, or at least for now. AI will not reach a certain point where they can have the will to create something without human intervention, because only humans have emotion. So, If we want to have a solid grasp of a career, it's really a good idea to ask ourselves, is this creative? Am I doing something unique? Are we creating a new solution to a problem? This gives us the benefit of making more time for ourselves, expressing emotional insights, and achieving more fulfillment in what we do, creating more meaning to our days. Today we have what we call NFT, and this is a new way of selling artworks in a listing similar to an auction house but through digital means. $2 billion were made in NFTs during the first quarter of 2021. Yes, that's right, 2021. $2 billion in a new industry. I've heard millions of dollars invested in companies like Tesla or SpaceX, but that's millions, not billions. The world is literally saying that art is more valuable than going to Mars or driving around in fancy cars. Try to wrap your head around. Knowing all this, it's really best to jump in this trend and see where it goes. And some of you might really find it difficult to adapt or transition easily from the canvas to NFT. And I get it. Totally understandable. So to bridge this gap, we've set up a space where you can simply drop off a photo of your art without worrying about having to learn fast and manage your NFT. So you can also use your time to focus on your craft. In fact, you can forget about everything that I just discussed here. Or if you want, you can come back to my videos and slowly learn the process without risking any mistakes, since we've taken care of the rest for you. Your signature stays with the art, and you can also have the option to curate your own art. Our staff interprets and combines your story into a short episode that we will feature in our channel. This is a great way to gain publicity, which could help art collectors understand the story behind your art and its significance to our society, which should in some way help your art come up with its own value in trade industry. Take note that this is just a temporary patch as we continue to educate more and more young artists about the process and the future of art in NFT. We hope that you can see this as a starting point for a teamwork between you as an artist and our team of tech channels and enthusiasts who just love to create YouTube videos. We are aiming to get as many artists as early as possible in this platform, the NFTCORE, so that you can start selling and earning from your art without the efforts of marketing or aimlessly looking for commission projects like creating logos which you can't own because, you know, copyright stuff. I'm not saying that commission-based work is bad, but what I'm saying is many times it's really good to create a product where your name or signature stays with it. That way, your legacy spreads far into the future where many more younger kids could be inspired from that piece you made. I've seen many kids who actually enjoy TikTok, and many adults don't get it, and that's because kids grew up with it. You know, apps like Clubhouse, Discord, Twitch are natural for them. I'd love to see how they grow up with NFT. I want to see how they grow up in a city where art is encouraged by schools and no longer waste precious time on studying subjects that they don't want to use in the future. Because I get it, kids. Modules suck, but you have to live with it. In current city standards, of course. Unless you want to start choosing what you really want, or finding your passion, and planning for the future. Because let's face it, if you're not building your dream, there are others who will hire you to build theirs. And that's what school is training you for. Thanks for watching. You can soon get your hands on my book, The School of Thought, Thought as in T-A-U-G-H-T. It will be released later this year and it will take you to a whole new level of understanding the universe, economics, and other things that you might find interesting. And I'm giving away 10 copies of this book for free. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is to add the word thought in your comments below, and I will select 10 random people when it's available. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button, and if you don't, well, you know what to do. Either way, subscribe now so you don't miss out on my upcoming episodes. Peace.